What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Matt Runs. Today with me is a man named Pastor...
Jasper.
Right there, Pastor Jasper. And his Instagram is Pastor Jasper. And I got to know him because of Instagram, because he commented actually in with Geno Sobehana's episode.
Yeah.
And this man has been living off his backpack for how many years?
Maybe 5 years. Close to 5 years now.
And you have 5 t-shirts.
Maybe a little more than that. Maybe 7, 6.
Okay. 2 jeans.
2 jeans.
3 underwears.
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe 10.
So how do you do this, bro? What made you decide to live off your backpack and just roam around the world?
Yeah, it's interesting because I've never planned to do this. You know, growing up, I don't read. I don't like to read.
Okay.
I remember the only thing that I would read in school is National Geographic.
Okay.
So I'm always like, so I grew up having this wanderlust, like, man, I want to see the world. And then when I was 17, I got sick. I woke up in the hospital. And
when you were 17?
Yeah, when I was 17. And then the doctor, I had technically had a severe seizure. My dad brought me to the hospital. The doctor said, hey, we had to do an MRI scan. And then they saw a little thing in my head. They said it's a tumor. I don't know what it is, but it's something in my head that makes me have seizure. You know, that's scary.
But it only happened one time.
I think it happened like twice or 3 times or something like that. Yeah, but almost all of it is like when I was sleeping. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I woke up in the hospital. After a year of that, my father came up and said, hey, I think you're not going to school. You know, I think you should rest. You know, and then after a year, my father said, I think God is calling you to be a pastor. Now, if you're Filipino, you understand this because you have no choice. If your parents say something, hey, this is what the route you need to take. And so my father was like, hey, I think you need to be a pastor. And so I went to school as a pastor, finished all my degree in theology, went to Indonesia as a pastor. And then from there, I decided, you know what, I'm going to just quit work and travel and do photography and missions. Yeah.
I mean, wait, let's take it back first. Did you even want to be a pastor?
No, dude. No, never wanted to be a pastor. I don't want to be one. I think I felt like all pastors were hypocritical and why they tuck in shirts and they have ties and all that kind of stuff. I don't like these stuff. Never liked it.
So pastor of what religion?
Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Seventh-day Adventist.
Yeah.
So it's the same, you believe of, what is it? It's
the same thing.
Right?
Yeah, same thing. We worship on Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, on Sabbath. Yeah.
But you served as a pastor.
Yeah.
You went through four years of
4 years. 4 years, dude. Never liked it. But I found God. This is where I found God. And I this is where I really believe in grace. You know, one of my favorite authors says that grace is an attribute given to undeserving human beings. We do not seek for grace, but grace was sent in search for us. I was not finding God at all, but I believe that God found me there in that school. And so that was my Christian journey. That's where it started. And just to tell you, you know, so you won't be scared. My tumor is gone. After a few months, every 6 months, I had my MRI scans while I was in school. The tumor is getting smaller and smaller. And when I was 21 years old, the last MRI scan, the tumor was completely gone.
How?
I have no idea, bro. I have no medication. I have no medication. The only thing that I remember drinking was anti-seizures. That's the only thing. I have no change of diet because many people would attribute it like, oh, if you change your diet, you'll be healthier and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, technically, no, tumor's gone.
So what reason do you give of why your tumor disappeared?
Miracle. That's the only thing I can really tell people. Like the only reason why the tumor is gone is because God has a purpose. And like, hey.
So you moved to Indonesia to work as a pastor for how many years?
4 years.
And then
after that, I held a camera for the first time, my brother. For the first time again. When I was 22, the first time I held a camera again. I used to have a camera when I was 11, but I lost that. But then I felt this nostalgia. I was like, man, this is so cool. And so that's the time it started. Like, oh, I had a GoPro, started to have a camera. Just started with little things. Yeah, I really believe that if you're faithful to that which is little, you'll be faithful to that which is much. And so I said, man, if I am faithful with little, I think God will give me opportunities to do more. And so slowly I start to have a drone, you know. And the first experience I had when I went to Palawan before it was famous, I flew my drone there and made a montage video.
Wow.
And that video went 1.3 million views.
Where?
In Facebook.
Okay.
And so that was the first experience, and I was like, man, this is cool. I want to start something, and I have no idea what I was doing, but I have mentors. I called them. It's like, hey man, we need to do this. And so yeah, we've been doing some short commercial stuff.
Wow.
To live.
Tell people about your journey, bro, that you've been living off your backpack for 5 years around the world.
Yeah.
Not just around the Philippines, but around the world.
Yeah. So when I was a pastor, I decided, because I have this urge to really, hey, maybe I could do something based on social media as missions, because I was restricted in 4 walls, and when you go to church, it's all like the pastor needs to be in a pulpit. When you hold a camera, that's not pastoral, so I was like, man, I need to do something else, and sometimes we're like, hey, think outside the box, and I was like, man, why don't we get rid of the box? Why don't just go step out of the boat, and do something? And so I left, man. I had a project to film the history of the Christian church in Europe. And I've never met these people before, but they saw my work. And they were like, Facebook. And they were like, hey, you want to be part of us? I've never met these people, by the way. And I told my church, like, hey, I'm resigning. I'm going to Europe. So I flew to Europe, bro. I've never seen, I'm from Negros. I've never seen winter before.
You flew alone.
Yeah, I packed board shorts. I've never experienced, this was in the dead of winter. So I flew there 4 months, man. 4 months in Europe. And you know what the miracle is? I've never spent a single penny when I was in Europe. I was couch surfing. Like, I would tell people and church members, like, I would preach on the weekends, and you take care of me in that week. Is that okay? And they were like, yeah. And I've been to 8 countries, man. 8 countries without spending money. That was it. There's just
food,
couch surfing.
everything.
Yeah, that's where
transportation, everything free.
Everything for free. That's where I went to Italy. Like, I went throughout towns in Italy, man, and just meet people there, couch surfing.
I mean, if you're in the street and you're hungry, how do you buy food?
No, I have a little bit of money, but I've never spent a single penny. Like, people, I live with them, and there are Filipinos everywhere too.
So how do you meet these people?
Instagram. Some people will go to this particular dude that went to my church when I was in Indonesia. He's a pilot in Papua, but he's Italian. And so he took care of me when I was in Italy. Yeah, and then he referred me to some people in Venice and, the Dolomites.
So traveling around, that's where I proposed to Sarah, the Dolomites.
Oh, dude, beautiful.
You've been there?
Oh, I've been there twice. One of
Cortina,
the most beautiful.
Cortina?
Yeah.
That's where I proposed, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cortina?
Yeah.
Wow. It does the Triceme?
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
That's where I proposed.
Grand.
So what do you do when you travel?
So I do photography. I preach, but on the side, I do a lot of filmmaking for nonprofits or small ministries, and I make videos for them so they have a little exposure on the internet and people can donate money.
So I was following. That's how we met, no? Because you commented on one of my posts, and I started following you and connected from there. But dude, if you follow Jaspers' Instagram account, it's crazy, super sick pictures, guys, of beautiful places all around the world.
Thanks, man.
All around the world.